What's good, everyone? It's LaMuerteBlanca, and we are back for another edition of our Borderlands 3 character build video series. Continuing along with Zane, this build would be what I would most likely go for if I were to play this character, as I am more of a DPS, blow things up, do a high amount of damage type play style, because we're going to drop bombs on them with this class. Literal bombs, as well as just straight up damage bombs when it comes to all the gun damage and everything that we're going to be able to do. So not wasting any more of your time, guys. This is going to be a strictly clone and drone based class. More so on the clone side, where you spawn a digiclone of Zane. The clone stays in place, but distracts and fires at enemies. Pressing F or G while the clone is active causes Zane and the clone to swap places. So of course the clone being very important, as you'll see as we build out this class, but going straight into what we want to work with when it comes to damage, we're going Synchronicity. Whenever one or more of Zane's action skills are active, he gains increased gun damage for each active action skill. So the theory behind this build is drop the clone, drop the drone, do high amounts of damage immediately, kill everything before they even have a chance to aim down their sight at you. So the 20% extra gun damage per skill, 40 if we have the clone and the drone out, is going to be huge. Then we come down to Fractal Frags. The digiclone throws a copy of Zane's current grenade mod when it's first activated. If the digiclone is killed, it drops a free grenade. Kill skill, killing an enemy while the digiclone is active gives the clone a chance to throw a grenade. So our clone is going to be throwing all the grenades for us. Because we got the clone and the drone, we can't throw grenades, but our clone will be drop bombs on them because they're the ones that are going to be throwing all these grenades with all the kills that we're going to be getting. But even though we can't throw a grenade, we're going to be shooting grenades with duct tape mod. The first shot fired from Zane's gun has a chance to also fire a grenade. This skill has a short cooldown. 20% chance in order to fire a grenade on top of the grenades that our clone are going to be throwing. Definitely dropping them bombs. Donnybrook is the next skill that we decided to pick up. It's kill skill. Whenever Zane kills an enemy, he and his digiclone received increased gun damage and gain health regen for a few seconds. Gun damage as well as the health regen, because this class lacks a lot of the shield or health or whatever type of survivability buffs you're going to be looking for on the barrier tree, because we're just going for a straight damage build here. So the health regen in particular is going to be key, but of course trying to continue to stack that gun damage, because damage is what it's all about. One of the very few survivability skills that we decided to add would be quick breather. Whenever Zane swaps places with his clone, his shield immediately begins recharging. We have our augment for this slot. However, I'm going to wait until we talk about both augments at the same time, because you'll see how they pair up. So coming down into the next line, we go old U. Press F or G during fight for your life if digiclone is active to destroy the clone and immediately gain second wind with full health. This is again one of the few survivability skills that we have for this particular build, but I feel is essentially a must, especially if you're doing a solo run. The ability to get an immediate second win just by sacrificing your clone is going to be huge. Definitely something that I highly suggest for most Zane builds that go this deep into the double agent tree. Not necessarily a useful skill until we come down into the next line. However, pocket full of grenades is a kill skill. After killing an enemy, Zane gains grenade regeneration for a few seconds. So if our clone up to this point is throwing a lot of grenades, or if we happen to be using grenades for the grenades that we're shooting out of our gun, this is going to be helpful for us to continue to do that. As promised, going back into our two different augments, the first one is Schadenfreude, and my German is horrible, so I really hope I didn't butcher that. Whenever the clone takes damage, Zane's shield is restored by a portion of that damage. So the clone takes damage, we get part of our shield restored. Helps us stay alive in order to do more damage. But we also have digital distribution. If Zane takes health damage while the clone is active, a portion of that damage is shared to his clone instead. So the reason why we went with these two augments is because I like how they pair in order to help keep Zane alive. If we take health damage, so let's say our shield is gone and we're taking health damage, not only is our clone going to be sharing some of that damage, so we're taking less health damage, because our clone is sharing some of that damage, when our clone takes damage, our shield is being restored. So essentially 75% of the damage that we're taking to our health is then being converted into our shield. So that is going to be a great pair for those of you that are using the clone and want that survivability. If you want to go straight damage, then I would definitely suggest Doppelbanger, because you would have the explosion and the potential splash damage, and you can pair that up with the which one's real in order to get more aggro on the clone and maybe more damage when it comes to the explosion if you do doppelbanger. However, I wanted to balance out this class a little bit because I didn't just want it to be a straight all the way through damage build, because I feel like, especially if you're running solo or especially if you're doing endgame type content, that might be a little bit hard for you to stay out of fight for your life. So of course I wanted to balance out the character a little bit with our augments, because a lot of our perks that we're selecting are damage based. So coming down into the second to last line, Undoubled Agent, and the main reason why we have the frag regeneration is Boom Enhance. Whenever Zane summons his Digiclone, it consumes up to 3 grenades. For every grenade consumed, the Digiclone gains increased gun damage, max health, fire rate, reload speed, and Digiclone duration. So this skill alone is the reason why you always, and I mean always, want to have 3 grenades in your pocket. All of these buffs that you see on the screen right now are per grenade. So if you do the math, that is 60% gun damage. 60% gun damage. That is 243% extra health for your clone. That is 15% extra fire rate. That is 93% extra reload speed. That is an extra 75% on the amount of time that your Digiclone is active. That is crazy. Just by consuming 3 grenades that we're not going to use anyway because we have the clone and the drone available. That is an insane skill, and I absolutely love it. If Boom Enhance wasn't enough, we come over to Like a Ghost. Zane and his Digiclone gain a chance to ignore bullets. This chance is increased for a few seconds after activating an action skill. This effect stacks. If we have both action skills out, then we have a stacking chance to ignore bullets. Crazy. Helps the survivability. Also just a general, like, turns you into a ghost. Love it. But this is the main reason why I love the clone. And I love the clone so much because I will admit I am a total troll when it comes to jumping into random people's lobbies in Borderlands 2, pulling out my Bane and just pissing everybody off. Please, Borderlands 3, tell me the Bane is coming back, because I will create a Zane build just for this reason. The clone is equipped with a copy of Zane's current weapon when activated if you go with double barrel. Swapping places with the clone causes Zane and his clone to gain increased gun damage. So the increased gun damage is an extra 20%. That is huge for this build. But if you're a total troll, like I like to be sometimes, and I'm not always a douche, but sometimes it's just fun to do, that means there's going to be 2 Banes out there screaming and yelling and just going insane, and it's going to be awesome, and I love it. And God, Borderlands 3, please have the Bane. Just do it for me. Anyway, so we have a copy of our weapon. We have all the grenades that the clone's going to be throwing. We have all the ridiculous buffs that we're giving the clone because we're consuming 3 grenades. We have the extra gun damage and the health regen by getting the kill skills. We're shooting grenades. Because our clone and our drone are theoretically active in this scenario, we're getting the 40% extra gun damage. Like, this is going to be a great tree when it comes to building out a DPS Zane type character. But it doesn't end there. It just gets better and better and better if you add the Hitman tree. So SNTNL, for those of you that don't know, you can send into battle an automated SNTNL drone that continually flies through the environment and attacks enemies with its machine gun. So not only do you have your gun, the copy of your gun that's on your clone, the grenades that you're not only shooting, but your clone are going to be throwing, on top of all the buffs that we already talked about, you have a turret, a flying turret that is going to be doing extra damage for you. And we come over into Violent Momentum. So Zane's gun damage is increased while moving. The quicker he moves, the greater the gun damage bonus. You don't have the barrier skills for this class, and you're not getting a lot of the survivability buffs that you would get from the undercover skill tree. So you're probably going to be moving a good majority of the time that you're playing Borderlands 3 as this particular build. 20% at default walking speed. That is just a great buff in general. But then if you couple that with violent speed, which is a skill that we added because we had to add additional perks after coming down into this area. After killing an enemy, Zane gains increased movement speed for a few seconds. So you're increasing that movement speed by 12%, which will then help you get even more gun damage by using violent momentum. Damage on damage on damage, and I love it. Come down into the next line, we have drone delivery. SNTNL will occasionally drop a free grenade based on Zane's current grenade mod while attacking enemies. So not only is our clone going to be throwing grenades, our drone is just going to be randomly dropping grenades. Not just any grenade, our grenade mod, which is going to be awesome. So as you guys can see, we dropping bombs on them. We dropping a lot of bombs on them, and it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait. Then we move over to Salvation. Kill skill. After killing an enemy, Zane's weapon gain lifesteal for a few seconds. So this is, again, one of the few skills that is going to help us stay alive. I felt this was far more important than having increased reload speed. So the main reason why we went for this skill. Come down to Death Follows Close. All of Zane's kill skills gain increased effect and duration. A very useful skill for this build because it's only 1 point and we're getting 7 extra seconds for all of our kill skills and 25% extra bonus for those skills as well. So we're getting extra duration and ability for Salvation. We're getting extra movement speed, which are going to have an impact on violent momentum. We're going to be getting extra grenade regen. We're going to be getting extra gun damage and health regen. So this is going to be impacting actually a handful of skills for this build. Only costs us 1 point. Definitely worth it in my opinion. The following line is where the drone class really shines as far as helping us deal a ton of damage and killing enemies. With Playing Dirty, we get another kill skill, which will be impacted by Death Follows Close. With after killing an enemy, Zane's next 5 shots all have a chance to fire an additional projectile. So the next 5 shots after killing an enemy, we're getting a 50% chance to shoot an extra projectile. That is double the damage. Let's say we're using a sniper, for example. That's going to be a ton of damage that we're going to be able to shell out with Playing Dirty on our skill tree. Both augments are on this line as well. With all the grenades that we're going to be dropping and all of the additional gun damage that we're doing, our drone is just going to be dropping even more bombs with Boomsday. SNTNL adds a rocket pod to its primary weapons, allowing it to shoot rockets as well as machine guns. So not only does our turret have machine guns, now it shoots rockets. On top of that, we're getting even more rockets with Almighty Ordnance. Hold down F or G while SNTNL is deployed to paint a target area. SNTNL fires a missile barrage at that area, and if an enemy is killed, SNTNL's duration is reset. This can only be used once per action skill use. We're getting the machine guns from the turret. We're getting the Boomsday rocket pod. We're getting a carpet bomb, and if we kill an enemy with the carpet bomb, we are extending the action skill duration, which is going to help with synchronicity and some of the other skills that we have set up for this build, which is again improving our gun damage. As you can see, the way I currently have this built out is our drone is going straight offensive, where our clone is going to help balance us out a little bit with the survivability and defensive skills. So that's why, again, another reason why I went that route specific to the clone. And our final skill to top this all off is Good Misfortune. It's a kill skill, which again, being impacted by Death Follows Close. Killing an enemy increases Zane's action skill duration. This skill has diminishing returns. Just killing an enemy while we have the drone out, while we have the clone out, is going to increase its duration, which will then keep the buff that we get for the gun damage. With this build, all about DPS, all about dropping them bombs, this is what I foresee with this class. You see a mob, you jump into that mob, drop the drone, drop the clone. The clone is going to have a copy of your weapon. It's going to be throwing grenades. Every time you kill an enemy, you're going to be getting all of the damage buffs associated with the doubled agent tree because you have both action skills active. You have the kill skills for the health regen and the gun damage. You're going to be shooting grenades. On top of that, when you consume through grenades by calling in the clone, it's getting all the buffs. There are going to be times where you won't even take damage because you're going to be ignoring bullets. And then, because you have your drone out, it's going to be shooting rockets, plus its machine gun, plus the carpet bomb that you have. As you get more kill skills, you're going to be having the chance to shoot additional projectiles, which by getting kills, you're going to have the action skill duration increased. Your drone is dropping grenades on top of the rockets and the machine guns, you're going to be strafing back and forth trying to dodge bullets, so you're getting even more gun damage on top of that. Plus, because you're killing everything, you're getting lifesteal, which will help you stay alive. This build, like I mentioned, is probably what I would do if I was going to play Zane, and is actually getting me really excited for Zane. Like when Zane first came out, I was like, he's the operative. His gadgets look cool, but I don't know if that's the way I want to go. I might want to try another character instead. I look at these skill trees and I look at this build in particular and how similar it is to my personal playstyle. I'm all about it. I think it's awesome. So I'm really excited to see how this works out and all of the carnage that you can actually do with a Zane character like this, but we won't know until the game comes out. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, drop a comment, tell me what you think about this, tell me what you're planning on doing with Zane's build. Also, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you can catch all of the future LaMuerteBlanca content. We're going to continue to drop more Borderlands 3 character build videos. There's already a bunch that we already have out, so don't forget to check out the ones for Amara, Mose, as well as Flak. If you want to catch the LaMuerteBlanca live stream, because we are going to be streaming a ton of Borderlands 3 once it comes out, you can catch me on Mixer, Twitch, as well as YouTube. All the links can be found in the description below. I'm LaMuerteBlanca, and I'll catch you guys next time.